Hello. This short presentation will demonstrate to you how to prepare your site for a liquid screed. The preparation is key to a good job, and it is worth spending the time making sure it is right. A little bit of extra care here can save a huge amount of problems down the line. Once we begin to pump the material, there is no going back. Here is a list of materials you are going to need. Membrane. Make sure you use a 500 gauge membrane, also known as 125 MU. Do not use 250 gauge. It is far too thin and will split extremely easily. It can also split when we have left the building, and at that point there is nothing we can do. Also, do not use 1200 gauge. This is far too thick. It will leave large creases sticking in the air, and it's also tough to get tight into all the corners. The 500 gauge is far quicker and easier to fit. Other materials you will need: stapler, duct tape, perimeter strip. This will often come with the underfloor heating package. And lastly, adhesive spray. We highly recommend using this. Membrane. Roll out your 500 gauge membrane and run it roughly 100mm up the wall. If onto timber, staple back. If onto block, use adhesive spray. This is the quickest and easiest way. Using duct tape, tape each segment of membrane together to create a bath. Please note, do not use silver foil as it reacts with our screed and can blow holes in it. The worst thing to happen during the pour is for the screed to get beneath the membrane and potentially the insulation boards, so it's vital it's taped properly. We would much rather see it over taped. Always fit the perimeter strip after the membrane. This is to give it a double skin and also prevents the membrane falling back into the screed. It is also easier if you fit the perimeter strip before the underfloor heating is fitted, as the pipes can often run close to the edges, making it awkward to fit. The serrated edge of the perimeter strip must be at the top, not the bottom. Ensure the perimeter strip is pushed back flush against the wall or timber. The perimeter strip gives the screed space to expand without pushing into a solid wall, which can lead to cracking. Again, we would advise you to use the adhesive spray to hold back the perimeter strip. If you have used cold bridging, sticking nails through it is a very quick way of securing it. Please note, cold bridging is not a substitute for the perimeter strip. Once secured to the wall, tape the plastic skirt to the membrane. This stops any screed getting behind it. Avoid pulling skirt too tight. This will create voids and could lead to the skirt splitting. When going into the corners, nicking the perimeter strip with a knife will help you get it as snug as possible. Finally, anything sticking up into the screed, like pipes or timber, must be wrapped with perimeter strip. Underfloor heating. Pipes should have a clip in them every 400mm. If the clips are spaced out much more than that, the pipes could start to float to the surface of the screed. Again, we would rather you overclipped the underfloor heating pipes. We would much rather you didn't use rails. Using the rails rises the pipes up by about 6 to 7mm. This means using the rails changes what our minimum coverage is, and therefore could impact on your screed height. If you or your plumbers insist on using the rails, please use sparingly, just as guides. And avoid using close to the loops, as the loops tend to want to spring up already. We would advise keeping a minimum distance of 400mm from the loop to any rails. Please note, always use 50mm clips. Anything shorter than that will be insufficient. Insulation. Insulation must be laid on a clear floor, free from any debris. To eliminate rocking, ensure that the curve in the insulation is pointed downwards. Make sure there is no gap between the edge of the insulation and the wall. Use the provided foil tape to hold the boards together. Make sure the boards are laid in a staggered manner. If the boards continue to rock, there are a few ways to stop this. Insulation plugs. Another way is taking out the board that is rocking and scoring the back of the board with a handsaw. This can often help. Or another way is to lay some weight on the boards and then fire expanding foam between the insulation boards. One or all three of these ways should help you with the rocking. If running pipes through the bottom of insulation, for example 50mm boards, fill with dry mix sand and cement with a 50mm bridge over the top. If running pipes through the top of the insulation, again fill around pipes flush with dry sand and cement. We are only as good as what we go on to.